Hello everyone, this is part 4 of What If Naruto Was a Blacksmith, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. The ninja were eating dinner at Tazuna's place. His daughter Tsunami was a little surprised by the number of guests and quickly made more food. That was delicious, Chuji said and patted his stomach. Tsunami smiled. Thank you, Chuji. So what's the new plan? Asuma lit another cigarette. We train until Zabuza comes again. I'm positive he's not S. Kakashi meet the confused gazes before continuing. What weapons did that tracker ninja use? Senbon. Tenten eyes widen. That's not really an effective king tool. Miku lifted his head off the table, as he must have hit a pressure point in the N. He sighed and looked over to his fellow genin. We got some intense work ahead of us. Anko smiled. I'm gonna run you brats into the ground. Naruto had a look of fear in his eyes. We're fed. I'd rather fight Zabuza now. I'm hurt, brat. That any way to talk about your sensei? Naruto just shook his head, knowing he sealed his fate for a later date. We'll begin tomorrow. You ya little prick are going to a session with Ibiki when we get back. Naruto groaned as Miku laughed at him, though Anko now turned on him. You're going to. Damn it, he muttered. Everyone had went to sleep after dinner. Everyone except the 4 who sat at the table. Give me 3. Anko said, handing over 3 cards and taking new ones. 2. Asuma said, taking the new cards. 5. Miku handed over all his cards and took a chug of sake. That hits the spot. Burns all the way down. Naruto exchanged one of his cards. How about this? Anarchy and I will take the place of Guy and Kakashi, you two represent yourselves. Whoever loses takes charge of the training for tomorrow. Okay. The other 3 smirked. I'm in. They said together and everyone revealed their cards. Damn it, I lost. Kakashi sure is going to be pissed. Miku smiled as he walked off to bed, his pocket emptier. Naruto smiled as he pocketed his winnings. Good night, sensei, Asuma. Naruto took a sip of sake before turning in. Maybe we should gamble with those 2 more often. Asuma scratched his chin. Whatever, damn brats, maybe me lose half my money. Anko popped more dango into her mouth. Kakashi finally came down the stairs, the young shinobi all glaring at him for being late for training. Miku and Naruto didn't bother looking, to caught up in another card game. Miku handed a card to Naruto. 22 bust, 19 I win. He smiled as Naruto handed over his money. I hate blackjack. Naruto sighed. It's just because I always win. Miku shuffled the cards. Anyone want in? Silence. Oh Kakashi, because I lost last night you have to train us now. Besides the other Junin are with Tazuna right now, so not like you have much of a choice. Kakashi lowered his book. I hate you. I just want you to know that. Kakashi read a few more pages before closing his favorite orange book. Let's get this over with. He reluctantly moved out the door. Should we follow? Miku asked, winning another hand. Yes. Shouting, Naruto raced out of the house, desperate to save the money he won last night. He didn't need to shout. Miku thought as he followed his friend, at a more relaxed pace. Now that everyone is here, I'll begin. Miku returned Kakashi's glare. If he could be late, why can't Miku? These thoughts filled his head as he watched Kakashi walk up a tree. Just focus chakra to your feet, you'll be able to stick to the tree, to put it simply. Kakashi launched kunai to the genin. Use these to mark your progress. Troublesome. Shikamaru muttered, but shouts from Ino got him doing the exercise. Sakura seemed to be a natural at it. Kakashi had taken Guy's team to practice the water walking exercise, knowing he had his students the tree climbing. Sasuke noticed Naruto sleeping and tossed his kunai at him. Miku caught it with practiced ease. I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't assault my friend. For an Uchiha, you're pretty stupid. Sasuke charged him as Miku shook Naruto awake. At the last second the pair ran up the tree. Can't get us up here, can ya, Sasuke? Naruto laughed as he hung upside down. Now Naruto, don't bother with him. We'll do that. Let's see if Ten-chan needs any help. Miku turned and jumped through the trees back towards Tazuna's house where Tenten was training. Tenten was having a difficult time. Tree climbing had been easy for her, but this was different. Now she was just standing on the shore staring at the water, angry. "Why are you all wet?" came a familiar voice behind her. She puffed out her cheeks, rage building. "You know why," she shouted at her fiancé. "All right, calm down. It just takes time. Right, Naruto? Naruto." Miku looked around to find Naruto and Lee sparring. "Here, take my hand." Miku led Tenten into the middle. "Just focus." It was silent for a minute. "I think I got it," she said with a smile. "Really?" Miku grinned as he jumped away, to watch her fall in. He walked over to the pier and removed his shirt, sword, weapon pouch, and boots. "Not funny," Tenten shouted as she resurfaced. "I thought it was hysterical." She puffed her cheeks out again as Miku walked back over to her. "You know you're cute when you do that." He kissed her on the cheek as he cancelled the chakra flow to his feet and fell in. "Been a while since I've had a swim." Tenten watched as he made his way around her. She climbed out of the water, standing on it. She smiled widely. Miku splashed water at her and she fell in again. "What was that for?" "You need to stay focused and not let something as small as that distract you." He stood on the water again, pulling Tenten up and setting her down. "Now for something more serious." And so the two began a light spar. Well, it was more of a swim in Tenten's case as she was in the water most of the time. Miku was now sitting on the pier watching Tenten as she did a kenjutsu kata on the water. He smiled, proud of her improvements. "Very good, Ten-chan." She finished quickly and took a seat next to him. "Thanks, your help was really helpful." He finished her sentence and the two just watched the surface of the water as it reflected the sun. "Hey Ino, wanna play a game?" Naruto flashed the blonde a deck of cards. "Sure." She watched as Naruto shuffled skeffily. "What did you and Miku do today? You obviously done tree climbing before." "Yeah. Miku's father had us doing that our second year in the academy. We also knew all the academy jutsu and were already practicing advanced techniques." Naruto dealt out a hand. "Impressive." She looked at the cards. Nothing good, maybe. She had no idea what she was doing or what game they were playing. "What game is this?" "Blackjack. Let's play a few rounds before Anarchy comes in and I end up losing all my money." Naruto had on a sad smile as he remembered emptying his toad wallet. "Why do you call him that?" She looked at her cards, a queen and an ace of hearts. "Is this good?" "Damn, I lost." Naruto showed his cards, 2 jacks. "He's older than me by a few months. And he is practically my brother, been through a lot with him, most of it fights in the village." He dealt another hand. "Guess that's how we bonded so fast, he protected me like an older brother would his younger brother." She showed her cards and Naruto explained about how you had to get as close to 21 as possible without going over. Ino called for another card getting a 7 totaling 19. "Damn." She cursed as Naruto got a 6 to get 20. "You win this time." He smiled, deciding to try something. Naruto became nervous. "Hey Ino, hear me out okay? If I win this hand, will you go out with a Murfenweget back to Konoha?" The last part was said fast and too low for her to understand. "What?" she asked. Miku was about to enter the house, but caught every word Naruto had said and leaned against the wall near the opened window. "Will you go out with me after the mission?" Naruto shut his eyes. "Only if you win." Ino took her cards and quickly glanced at them. Hit. She got another card. "I'll stay with this." Naruto gave himself a card, then another. "Okay, show." Naruto flipped his over revealing 18. He looked at Ino's, 24. "No Aikikaru's Naruto." Naruto hung his head. There went his plan. She smiled at him. "Good night, Naruto-kun." Naruto lifted his head, eyes wide as she walked to her room. Naruto looked at her cards. Something wasn't right. He picked up the 2 original, leaving the one she asked for. "Blackjack, son of AB." Naruto had an face-splitting smile. "Wonder when you were going to ask her out." Miku said, taking the deck and shuffling. "Good choice by the way. Since she stopped making fun of me I've come to realize that she is actually a nice person." Kyubi puffed into existence in an average fox size. His 9 tails curled around him. "Loved how you went about getting a date, very subtle." Bogu said, taking a seat next, and asked for some cards. Maiku gave some to Kyubi. Demons vs humans, game of poker, last one with money wins for their team. Maiku got nods of agreement. The game went well into the night, 50 hands and some bottles of sake. Bogu and Kyubi won. We'll never hear the end of this. Kakashi came down to see Maiku and Naruto playing 2 separate games of solitaire, talking about random things. Hey Kakashi, you know lightning jutsu right? I've copied some, asking for help. Kakashi asked. Yeah, I'm not like that asshole Uchiha. You can help Naruto also, he has a secondary lightning. Maiku said. You got any fire jutsu as well? Kakashi nodded. Good. See you for training in the morning. Maiku packed up his deck and went to his room. Interesting kid. Kakashi pulled out his book, deciding to stay a while. His grandfather made that legendary tanto of yours. Kakashi raised an eyebrow. That's probably true, but I haven't used that in a while. I just thought of something. Naruto got up and went upstairs. Yeah, I should do that. So how are the others coming? Maiku scratched his chin as he read over notes Kakashi had just given him. Ino and Sakura have just finished, Shikamaru is almost there, Chuji and Sasuke have no clue. Kakashi flipped a page. Chuji will get it, once Shikamaru tells him. Asuma was watching Naruto show off his list of wind jutsu. Most likely. Maiku stood up and slowly did the seals. Raiten, Enerugi Yuiki. A slight electric buzz surrounded Maiku. Not enough chakra. Kakashi never looked up from his book. I can hear it, but I can't see it. Isn't that step 2? Maiku asked, pumping out more chakra. I gotta find out how much I can use before I call on Bogu. Looks like that's now kid. Bogu gave up some of his chakra. The jutsu's power increased dramatically. Not bad kid, work on that and come see me when you're done. Kakashi went to check on his other charges. Naruto, that's very impressive. Asuma smiled and pulled out one of his knives. Grab your sword, I'm going to show you something. Naruto did as instructed. Channel your chakra to the blade, thus giving it an even sharper edge. That should be even easier if you're using the sword I made you. Maiku unsealed a normal katana. Use this, seeing as our blades are made to adapt to chakra. Using it on a normal sword should prove more difficult, thus more beneficial to your training. Asuma nodded. Sound conclusion Maiku. He pulled out his other knife and tossed to the young forger. Look over that, will you? Of course. Maiku sat down and looked at the weapon hard, as if expecting it to talk. This is well made, none of the blueprints in my family's vault shows something like this. At least not the ones I have seen. Yes, your family didn't make these, not even a different branch. Asuma quickly shouted out what Naruto was doing wrong and told him to focus. Maybe I should make a pair for myself. Naruto as well if he has wind chakra like you. All in all, it's a good weapon. Wait a minute. Maiku looked at a point on the blade, it was thinning. Seems to have taken one too many hits. Not getting repairs often. Haven't gotten around to it. Asuma said, blowing out smoke. Yes, I can quickly take care of it back at Konoha where I have access to some of my special metal. Maiku did a few quick motions with the blade. Definitely need to make a few of these. With a smile he handed it make the weapon. I think I'm getting this. Naruto's blade had a bluish glow around it. Nothing like Asuma's, but it was progress. Good, but not great. Asuma held up his blade and added chakra to it, showing a better glow. The best way Naruto could describe it would be, sharper, than his, dull, blade. Raiten, Enerugi Yuiki. The buzz surrounded Maiku again, this time slight crack of yellow energy, what Maiku assumed to be the electricity, flashed randomly around him. It continued like that for the rest of the day. Maiku would practice his control over his new technique, and Naruto trying to perfect encasing his sword in chakra. Alright. Asuma turned to Maiku. I want straight answers, I know about his problem, but not yours. You know about Naruto. Maiku gripped a kunai as it slid out of his sleeve. Asuma nodded, taking note of the kunai the boy now had. Calm down, no need to be rash. Then don't give me a reason to be. Bogu, puffed, next to Maiku. This is Bogu. When I was born he was reincarnated. His blood runs through my veins, this seal keeps him tied down. Naruto pulled up his sleeve showing Asuma. Just like Naruto I have control, so nothing to worry about. You're barely in control, kid. Bogu lightly shoved Maiku forward. Quiet, now's not the time to argue. Asuma still wasn't convinced. He needs my chakra to physically leave my body, but he can't take it. Same goes for Kyubi. I see, Asuma said, lighting another cig. Okay, don't worry, Asuma. We've had to play this question game before, we don't blame you for being concerned. The tension seemed to lift around the three. Everyone was eating dinner, it had been fairly quiet. Anko and Guy were reporting on the job at the bridge. Guy had been helping by carrying large steel beams for the workers. How far did you progress, Maiku? Maiku turned over a playing card. I just got the electricity to repair, not much though. Still needs work. Why do you try so hard? Came a child's voice. Gato will just K you all. I'll run that bastard through. Naruto pointed to the sword on his back. No worries. He smiled. You're just going to get Ked. Gato takes away everything. Don't think you know us and pretend to understand how horrible our lives have been. Inari was now standing, shouting at Naruto. Think I can make it to that open window? Maiku thought. No such luck, kid. Bogu answered. Naruto slammed his fist onto the table. What the F you mean I don't understand? I know more than anyone what pain means. Naruto's hand started to shake. I've been alone for a good part of my life, hated for no reason. I've been beaten within an inch of death, sometimes I wish it would have come. He stared at Inari, eyes now turning red instead. So shut your mouth. Naruto raised his hand. Dude, no. Maiku grabbed Naruto by the arm and tried to drag him out of the house. Asuma, help. Asuma grabbed Naruto's waist and carried him out. What the hell was that about? Sakura asked, picking up a broken plate. Anko sighed. It's not for us to tell, only Naruto can. Ino had a worried look. Don't worry, Maiku-kun will make sure he's okay. Tenten said and noticed her expression changed a little bit. Asuma and Maiku tossed Naruto onto the water, but the boy just fell in. It was 2 minutes until Naruto popped back up. Well, did you calm the F down? Maiku asked. A little bit. Naruto leaned back and just floated on the water. Thanks, Maiku. Don't. I did what I had to. Maiku sat down on the pier. I got it under control, Asuma, thank you. Asuma nodded and went back inside. Want to talk about it? No. Came a short answer. Maiku shrugged as Naruto climbed out of the water to sit next to his friend. He's fine, Asuma said and quickly finished eating. Sorry about that, Tazuna. That's fine. Inari hasn't been the same since his father was ked. The old man said after a sip of sake. Naruto still had worse. Anko putting her 2 cents in. I can tell why he got mad and I would have done the same thing. Doesn't matter. I'm still going to K Gato. Naruto said as he stood in the doorway, he was still D-sping wet. And I'm going for that bastard Zabuza. Maiku walked back in and sat down. Blackjack anyone. Guard your wallets. Naruto shouted. Asshole, don't warn them. Maiku whispered. Not enough chakra, Sasuke. Maiku stood at the top of the tree, above the Uchiha. To much that time, find the balance. Why am I doing this? Good question, kid. Bogu himself didn't know the answer, even though he shared Maiku's mind. I'm going to beat you when I get up there. Sasuke scowled. Bring it. I'll kick your ass any day. Maiku dropped into a fight stance, taunting Sasuke. Get up here and I'll drop you back to the ground so you can do it again. He smiled as Sasuke went well past his previous mark. Just needed motivation. Gotcha. Sasuke threw a punch, but it was easily blacked. Maiku kicked Sasuke's legs and watched as he fell back towards the ground. As he was about to hit, he stopped. Normally I'd let you hit the ground, but I'm being generous today. Maiku walked back up and marked Sasuke's progress. Do it again. Sasuke eyed the sword. Maiku noticed. That sword doesn't look so special. Sasuke jumped away from the sharp object as it came flying at him from the tree. It stopped, caught by Maiku, an inch away from the ground. He's fast. These blades are my family's pride, we forged our paths with them. He sheathed his blade. Insult my family again, see what happens. I could probably break that blade in half. Sasuke taunted, wanting to see how far until Maiku snapped. He didn't have to wait long. Maiku cracked his knuckles. I have to warn you, this is going to hurt. A lot. Did anyone hear that scream? Ino asked as she climbed out of the water. It sounded like Sasuke. Sakura quickly became worried. Wonder what he said to piss off Anarchy. Naruto muttered as he sat in the middle of the water, trying to manipulate chakra around the sword again. Ino swam back over to him. What'll happen to Sasuke? Most likely he'll come back with bruises, a lot of them. Naruto said, opening his eyes to inspect his work. Almost there. If he hurts Sasuke-kun, Sakura started. You'll what? Naruto asked. There's not a thing you could do to beat Anarchy. Ino, how does that new restaurant sound? He asked, blocking out Sakura's shouts. Sounds fine. She smiled and tried standing again, only to fail. That'll learn ya. Miku left, leaving Sasuke bloody and bruised. He walked around a bit, not caring where he was going. Hey brat, up here, sounded a voice that made Miku angry. Zabuza. Miku was quick to draw his blade, flooding it with chakra as it was pulled from its sheaths. Think Tetsusega, come to us early. Just a friendly chat. Miku tightened his GS, but waited to hear what Zabuza was about to say. It's more of a warning. I'll be going for you when we meet again. I'll give you guys 7 more days, then I'll be at the bridge. Don't disappoint, okay? Hope you didn't plan on cause that's what you'll be doing against me. Miku returned his sword. He figured out Zabuza was still in no shape to fight. You might have lasted longer going against Kakashi. Tough word, brat. We'll see at the bridge. Zabuza grinned beneath his bandages, evilly, before leaving. I'll be waiting. Miku quickly ran off towards Tazuna's to train. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.